Hello everyone, good day to you all. This is a continuation of the Flutter layout class we're having this week. This class will be looking at the scrolling widgets. We'll be looking at various scrolling widgets that enables us to have a scrolling functionality in our mobile apps. And you may come up with this error, or you will meet this error when you are building Flutter apps, that your pixels will overfloat maybe at the bottom or at the right or left, depending on the side it wants to show up. The scrolling widgets helps us to fix this error where we have maybe a fixed height and a fixed width content where you are building your mobile app and you have to input a fixed height and fixed width that don't change, and you get to have this overflowed error. The widget helps us to fix this. In Flutter, there are 11 different types of widgets available to achieve the scrolling functionality. This widget helps to make our view and UI more beautiful and add good UX to our application. If you would like to see the 11 different types of widgets, when this slide is available, you can click on this and you get to go to this web page. This is the web address link. You get to see the scrolling widgets, the different examples we have. As of April 2021, these are the various scrolling widgets we have in Flutter. And in our class, we'll be getting to see some of these widgets as an example. So I'll be switching to the presenter view to help us move with speed. So in our class, we'll be treating 4 different types of the scrolling widgets. Number 1 will be the SingleChildScrollView, a box in which a single widget can be scrolled upon. It's a beautiful widget. Number 2, it's our commonly used scrolling widget known as the list view. It's a scrollable list of widgets. Number 3 will be our grid view, a grid list consisting of repeated patterns of cells arrayed in vertical and horizontal layouts. Lastly, we'll be looking at the scroll bar. A scroll bar indicates which portion of a scrollable widget is actually visible. We'll get to see all these widgets in action in our example when we get to our code base, and you get to love them, how their functionality works. So we'll look at our SingleChildScrollView as our number 1 example. Like I said, it's a widget like a box that can screw a single widget. When space is not enough, the widget inside can screw on it. So we'll be looking at the SingleChildScrollView class and its various properties. So we'll look at its constructor. This is the constructor of the SingleChildScrollView, and these are the various properties it's having in it, and some of the properties are having their defaults already, and we'll get to see these properties in action of the SingleChildScrollView, and we'll love it. Let's look at our example and jump into our code base quickly. Example of a SingleChildScrollView widget. As you can see, the SingleChildScrollView, it's so easy to use. You just wrap it with a widget and you get to use it smoothly. So we'll be considering 3 examples here. So our first example, will be considering a column widget having 2 fixed containers. These 2 fixed containers, what I mean is that the container having fixed height and probably a width for the row. So let's jump to our code base. I'll be making use of the VS Code. The VS Code is personally my favorite code editor and IDE to use. So already I'm using VS Code and I'm running my app on Windows. As you can see, the default void main is there, and my app, which is under my run app, and my home, the first widget to run, my single child screw view example. Already, as you can see, this is the scaffold already, my app bar, and having a title as text widget of this. So already I built a column widget example which have a two fixed container. This is the first container ending here. The difference between these two container is just the color. This is having a colors.yellow accent, and this why this is having colors.green, but their heights are the same. So let's take this and add to the body of our scaffold. This is a method under the class single widget example. So let's add this to our body. Sorry about that. So when you run this app, you get this error. A render flex overflowed by 194 pixels on the bottom. So this is one error I'm getting. How do we fix this? We use our single child screw view. I applied it. So when you're using a Mac, you can just use your command and dot. While when you're using a Windows like me, you can use your ctrl and dot. It will bring out this option for you. So you click on wrap with widget. So wrap with our single child screw view, and let's see what it will do for us. So I hot reload, and this my app is so beautiful that it fixed the error, and as you can see, I can scroll through this. So it has fixed that number one error we are having. We'll be looking at another example. We'll consider a row widget having 3 fixed container. So considering a row with 3 fixed container, I already have a row builded here. So this is a row widget having 3 containers. The difference in this container are there are different colors here. There's one with the yellow accent, one with the green, and one with the red. We have different widths and heights. And for the second container, just to make it different and look different from this, we have different heights here. For this, a row works more with the horizontal axis, while the column works more with the vertical axis. When I say vertical, I mean up and down. When I say horizontal, I mean right and left. So the row widget works more with the horizontal axis, which is our right and left. So what I'll do, I'll clear all of this my body because I'm done with that example. Then I'll copy this particular widget and paste here to see the view first, see the error it's bringing. So with this, I'm having a render flex overflowed by 59 pixels on the right. So I'm having this, my widget can screw, and this is an error that is having. So I'll use my single child screw view. And also here we need to consider a property of the single child screw view. If you go into the single child screw view by holding your ctrl and clicking inside, or when you hold your ctrl and click inside, you get to see how this widget is made by the Flutter team. So, and this property is known as the screw direction. It has its default value as axis.vertical, which verticals deals with up and down, like I said. But here we are dealing with a row, and we need this screw direction to be changed to axis.horizontal. So go back to this and apply the screw direction. We change the value to axis.horizontal. So when we run this, we get to fix our error, and you see the widget can screw smoothly, which is looking so beautiful. I want to change the height of this to make Okay, so as you can see, the widget screw beautiful. If I did not change this to axis dot horizontal, this is the error we'll be having, because the single child screw view assumed that this is a vertical layout, and why our row falls under the horizontal layout. So we'll have to apply the screw direction for this to help the widget understand that this is in the horizontal layout. So this is the example for the build row widget example. So we'll be looking at our third example, which is a text widget with a very long text. And for this I've built a widget for that. I've built a text widget example which return a text and have different text in it. I concatenate this text with different examples just to show for this particular example. Also, our text style, the text is having a style, text style of font size of 28 and color dot black. So what I'll do, I'll remove all this to see how the behavior of the text widget is before adding our single child screen view. So I run this and you get to see the text that is too long in text format here. Data is coming from the API, Zuri and i4g training Flutter. So with time, you'll be consuming APIs, and also you'll be getting to list different posts. And as you can see, I'm trying to screw, but it's not possible to screw both up and down just because of the text is so long and it's hiding. So I'll add my single child screw view to this widget, and I hot reload and see, and as you can see easily I can read through my whole text widget, which is beautiful. And like this app is ready, just needs some little touch. We'll also be looking at a property again of the single child screw view, which is known as the padding. This padding property helps us to add padding to our set our edge inset. Made it symmetric with an horizontal of, let's give it, let's say 18. So as you can see, there's the horizontal adds padding for us to our left and right of 18, and this at least won't just make the text come close to this. So as you can see, the property is part of the single child screw view. There are many other properties that you can go through when you have time, and when you are learning and practicing, you can go through them. And if you really want to get some documentation on this, you can just go through this. You don't even need to be online. You just enter your single child screw view, then you get to read about the different properties it has, and get to read this sweet documentation prepared by the Flutter team for us. And like for the screw direction, you just get to read the axis along which screw default is set to this. So thanks to the Flutter team for their documentation for us. So these are the three examples we are looking at in the single child screw view. If you have any question, you can send it on by comment or on the chat. So for this video, this is the three examples, and we've been able to see how we can use our single child screw view to help us apply scrolling functionality to our various single widgets. Thank you. We'll meet in our next class to look at the list view and other scrolling widgets.